Imagine after an exciting football match, or as Yanks like to call it, soccer, which your club has won. You're exiting the stadium full of joy and excitement, when all of a sudden you see the opposite team's firm. Now you have to change that joy into anger, because you know that in a split second you're about to get in a fight for both your team's and your firm's honor. For those who are not familiar with the firm, it's a group formed by football fans to support their club. The members of the firm are referred to as hooligans. They have become part of football and also have brought violence to the game. I myself am a huge football fan, but I'm not from the firm. Although I do have friends that are hooligans. I know that many of you are into sports. You live, you breathe, you eat the sport, you love your team. Hooligans are a lot like that, only they would die for their team. Today I'd like to give insight on these firms by sharing their history and origins, the violence that they brought to the sport, and why they have spread around the world. I will start off with the history of firms. Firms originated from England and only began being recognized by the media and government around the 1960s. Following is information that was gathered from Sir Norman Chester's Center for Football Research and from the University of Leicester. Although our earliest recognition of the firms only can be dated to the 1960s, roughs were regularly reported as causing trouble at matches in the professional games early years at the end of the 19th century. Between the wars, football generally became more respectable and crowd problems diminished but did not disappear. It was not until early 1960s that they began to increase again. In the mid-1960s, saw ad hoc match day allies being formed between groups of young men drawn largely from local working class housing estates and suburbs. First history has been a long and violent one, which has led hooligans to be feared despite their non-violent purpose. Hooliganism actually has a non-violent purpose, just going to a stadium and supporting a team, but their purpose is overshadowed by the violence they cause, having to defend their firm. Singing, jumping, waving flags and banners are some of the ways firms support their teams. That's just an example of a firm. Soccer match. This is a firm next club. As you can see, this is white flag. That's all the firm's there to do. In contrast to their non-violent acts, in 1985 in Brussels, Belgium, 38 people were killed and more than 200 were injured. Fighting started between fans of Liverpool, England, and Juventus, Italy teams. Article was taken from the famous website. This is the incident. There's no sound, but it's being narrated by English news broadcasters, and they were just talking about how disgraceful it had been to England to have this happen in a different country. How sorry they were to have this incident occur. fights didn't actually cause the deaths, but since the fight broke out, people started running everywhere and caused mass congestion in the end of the stadium, which people just got trampled over and killed. People are left wondering why it is that hooligans do what they do. Friends have become worldwide popular despite their negative aspects. There are many reasons why people join friends. They love their team and find it a good way to demonstrate their support. Like in this picture in Argentina, mass supporting, having such excitement in the stadium. And they enjoy the adrenaline both in the stadium and in the fight outside the stadium. This happened in Germany, right? Broke out between rival hooligans. As you can see, although hooligans have brought passion to the game, they have also brought violence to the sport. I myself have a friend, part of a friend of the rival team that I go for. And although we both love our teams to death, we can still be friends. And I think that's what a lot of hooligans have to understand.
All right, Armando's not here, so I'm going to do all of this. The opening's okay, the topic's very clear. Your thesis statement's not quite as focused as it should be. There is a very good preview of what the content's going to be, although later on I didn't think that you stuck as clearly to that structure as you started with. At the beginning it was fine. As you went along, I thought you were less and less involved with that structure. There's some supporting material early on. The historical information is okay, but the further you go on, the less we hear that being referenced. I think, from a definitional point of view, it's a pretty solid explanation. It needs to be a little bit more interesting and involved, and part of it I think that's missing is maybe some of that personal experience that you were talking about. What kinds of things does your firm do? Where have you, what games have you gone to? Speak about it as if you are involved and energized by it. You seem, frankly a little tired and bored while you're giving the presentation, and you need more energy. We're not heavily focusing on presentation right now, but I'm going to tell you, anytime I see somebody chewing gum, you're going to lose points. And if I hear it smacking, I'm going to take away a couple more points. That was just annoying. So you got to be careful about that. Your pacing is a little bit awkward there, so pick up the pace a little bit. I thought the video clips are okay. They might be more dynamic with the sound, and that might be an issue that we'll have to work on with this if people want to use it again. It's topically organized, so most of the structural stuff is fine. The biggest issues are presentation kinds of things, and so that's what you'll need to work on. All right, thank you.